Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King, and today I'm going to be giving you part 18 of What If Naruto Was told about the Uzumaki Clan from the beginning. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was a Hope of the Uchiha Clan on this channel, and enjoy that. And over on Anime King 3, I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto Was Neglected with Jashin sealed inside of him, so go ahead and enjoy that as well guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying to comment to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, would you say begin this new episode, start the intro. So the last time we left off, Onhi realized his big mistake. Right now he can't afford to go back to the Hidden Rain, because if they lose more soldiers, it wouldn't be good for any of them. They've always suspected that the Hidden Rain was with the Uzumakis, but now it was confirmed, and they had to go around. They were going to pass by Konoha though, and they had to be cautious the same way, as Snatty knew that they were going to pass by their lands, as they would go right towards the border to make sure nothing happened. But in doing so, that meant that they were allowing safe passage right towards Uzu for it to be destroyed. But Snatty can't afford to get involved in this battle when Uzu had shown that he didn't want anything from them. Meanwhile, as Naruto had arrived towards where Karen was, as he told her it was time to come home, she seemed rather upset about that, but she followed his request. As she did not teleport with him back towards the tower, they took a boat. He said that some unknown people are on the sea. Some people were trying to take care of his boats and rob them, as Naruto found them and decimated them, as Karen came back to the capital with him, as they lay together that night. The next morning, Mei came to speak to him, as Karen was there as well. Mei was surprised. She never knew that Naruto was married. She never knew that at all. Meanwhile, Onki gave Kurasuke a mission. Her chakra might be sealed off, but she could still use Kinjutsu. But she was given a mission to do something that was rather dangerous. Something that was gonna probably change the event of this war. But the Hidden Stone was moving out. There was a lot of their shinobis on the move, but Uzu was ready as well. As Naruto gathered Haku, and both him and Haku moved out on the field. They made their way, as there was a platoon with Samui, as she was with Amoy and the others. She felt something as they all looked up. A massive ice storm. A calibration jutsu by Naruto and Haku came down towards them, as many of her men were frozen into solid ice. Something then dropped from the sky like a bullet. As it dropped with a boom, she was shocked to see him here. They didn't expect him to show up right here. And this, she didn't know what to do as she looked towards him. You remember her though. She was there when Yujito was there. She couldn't afford to flee because Raikage would be very pissed off about that. If they ran away from their duties but this man, could they really do anything against him? She wondered about that. So yeah guys, those basically that's what left off. You guys can switch across the PlayStation for yourself. So this begins new episode. Amoy slowly picked himself up. This does look like it's gonna end well, he said. He was kicked by Haku as he was just recovering. I could have been kicked harder, and then he could have moved in closer and end me. If he did end you, I wouldn't cry, said Karu. Amoy was quick to respond. I wouldn't miss you either, he said. That's enough, you two, said Samui, interrupting her banter. We're dealing with a Jinjulki here, one more powerful than it has to be. So, it's hopeless, Amoy said, summing it up. We can't afford to fight here. We need to back away. I have seen him fight before. Fighting here would just result into mass casualties. Samui didn't want it on her watch. She had to get things ready. She had to make sure that people lived. If Naruto went and transformed, there was nothing that she could do. She saw when he had transformed, when Yujito was facing off against him, and that dead ball of energy that he formed, that would have massacred her people right here. She wasn't going to chance that. They're not going to just let us leave like that, said Karu. Samui nodded. You two lead the others retreat back into lightning. We will regroup there. I should be the one to stay behind, Karu said. There's no need to play any hero, Samui said. If you stay behind, they will surely kill you. But I have no intention of dying. We need a plan. As she turned to look for someone. Meanwhile, Haku watched as a large boulder was sent sailing towards him. The same was happening on Naruto's side. He created a mirror to block the boulder. As for Naruto, he leaped forward and drive his fist in it as the boulder exploded. Haku pushed his boulder away and slammed onto the ground. As multiple smoke screens were thrown down. As both him and Naruto regrouped together. You feel that, Haku said. Yes, they're moving. Retreating, said Naruto. Should we chase them? Naruto shook his head. That first attack killed enough. Besides, we're not here to kill them, but to welcome them. If we got them to retreat back in the lightning, this is a bonus. Haku waited until smoke started to clear away. There was only 2 men there. The others were just shadows. How caring of you, said Naruto to Samui. I will give you Jito a message. I'm gonna make sure that she knows that you're in good health. What do you plan to do with her? You didn't come to the cloud that day to fight against a fellow Jinchuriki. There would have never been a need to take us out. Speculation, said Naruto. But he didn't answer a question. Haku. We leave. Time skip. Well, that went well, said Naruto as he walked towards his throne. I knew that your control over wind was majestic, but that was just unnatural. Naruto waved his right hand. I'm not doing it again. It consumed too much chakra for my liking. If I'm using natural energy, it will be fine, but it also drained my stamina. I have no need for jutsus that leave me vulnerable like that. You know how long it takes me to replenish my chakra. I thought that you had us leave because you didn't want to kill Samui. She's Yujito's friend, is she not? And if you end up killing her, you would have failed with Yujito. That factor in the decision, said Naruto. But you're not complaining, are you? Of course not, said Haku. For a welcome message, I think they receive it very well. We just have to think about how we handle them for real next time we fight, Haku said. In 2 days, I shall leave for battle, said Naruto. It shall be then, when I truly assault their forces. If the assaults fail to get them to step back, by the time they reach towards the fire border, I will cut their numbers down to half. But when that happens, the Kages will try to hold you back and make the army move through. The ones that remain, Haku said, and the wave will be in trouble. No doubt, Naruto knew that. If something happened to him, Uzu wouldn't have the confidence to survive. Just in case, the airship must be prepared. And you must deal with the unit moving through the sea. If any army move towards a wave, no matter what they are, the ship must be used. We will summon Guren and other Uzumaki. You will lead this group to act as the last line of defense. If the worst occurs, destroy the bridge and unleash a standby. This will make it easier to pick them apart. If we remove Guren from the sound, what happened to it? There is that chance that the stone forces will destroy it as they move. I will call Data and Sorcerer, said Naruto. For destruction, they're best suited. The next day, throne room. Karen looked at the face that Naruto gave her. His eyes were sharp but yet not fully open. He looked like a complete different person when he sat on the throne. She really preferred being away than playing wife, but she could not avoid this situation forever. She knew what she was getting herself into when she agreed to marry this person. She sighed as she was in front of him. What has gotten you lost in thought this time, she asked. Just thinking about my younger days in the hidden leaf, he said. Which part specifically, she asked. The part where I was always alone. I am surrounded by people that don't hate me, but actually love me right here. But yet I'm mostly alone, staring into emptiness. I'm feeling a bit unfulfilled. You can always go to a bar, she said. Be serious, Karen, he said. Can't take a joke, huh? Well, you still have people that you can be with. You just chose not to be with them. A choice, yes. Perhaps this feeling is just a part of me that is misbehaving. I've gotten so used to the silence. Seems I start to prefer it over the noise of a crowd. Did you get what you want from Yoshino, he asked, changing the topic. Of course. And he even offered to buy the tools for me. He and I have an understanding, and he isn't stingy like you. I think I married the wrong Uzumaki. Well, if you want to get married to Yoshino, I would release you, said Naruto. I would even be there to officiate your wedding. Don't even joke about that, she said. That guy probably has weird taste in bed. Just thinking about waking up to see his face makes me cringe. Well, you started it. But you do him no good, dear. Yoshino isn't that bad, said Naruto. That is because you don't care for his schemes, and you have no problem with that twisted smile of his. In any case, he has provided for me. Now I can leave and go back to work, she said. Remember, once this war is over, you return back home. I don't have to come to fetch you, he said. His tone was a bit hardened at the end. So, you're just gonna leave like that, he asked. Yes. You are not touching me, she said. I think you might be having an affair with Kabuto, said Naruto. Karen started to laugh with sarcasm in her tone. That guy probably get turned on by his experiments. Naruto smiled before he blinked for a moment. We have a guess. Or at least I have a guess. It is good that she's coming here while you're still around. Well, he probably has twisted urges to cut things and study them, said Naruto, as he skipped back to Kabuto. Who is coming? Asked Karen. Count from 1 to 20. Karen eyed twitched. You know I cannot sense anything with the barriers or on the throne. And don't treat me like a child, she said. As she turned to face the entrance, it was not Mizukage. She was still around, but if it was her, Naruto wouldn't say those words. After 2 minutes, Naoki walked in with Temari. Temari came in as she saw Naruto. But there was someone standing right beside him. A woman. Red-haired, glasses. Hands on her waist. She seemed to have been waiting impatiently. Temari's heart started to race a bit. Your Majesty, I have brought Temari. She has a message from the 5th Kazekage, said Naoki. While his face was towards Temari, he was speaking towards Naoki. No doubt that you brought her without saying anything, so that she can see Karen. But you did well, said Naruto, as he glanced towards Karen. Because we're going to war, he will be your guard from today. When you leave, go with him. Your Majesty, Naoki said. You want me to spend my time on that island? What will I do there? You'll be protecting me. You think that is not worth your efforts? Asked Karen. Of course not, said Naoki. You have just never needed protection before. Well, he's just playing with you. Because of you doing things to just amuse you, said Karen. As she stopped beside Naoki and spoke once more. On a serious note, you have chosen to be my guard when I return. Husband wants me to play an active role in the Empire. I will be moving around, you'll be with me. Got a problem with that? No, said Naoki as he shook his head. Who will take my position? No one, said Karen. Haku and Nyere would do just fine. If you have a problem with that, go speak to your elders. They are the ones who requested your services, and husband approved. Karen then turned her head towards Temari as she smiled. Karen Uzumaki, this is my house. And that person sitting on the throne over there is my husband. I would like to have a chat with you, but I must run before that man forced me to stay. But hopefully, I will see you again soon. She then turned to Naoki. We're going to the island. Temari waited until they were gone, as she gave Naruto a questioning look. He got off his throne. Follow me, he said. She followed the blonde in silence, as he arrived towards his office as he sat on the sofa. You need anything, he asked. No, she said. Not even once. Did you bother to tell me that you're married? And that was some way of letting the cat out of the bag, she said. There was anger in her tone, but that was to be expected. Does it bother you I'm married, he said. Temari glared at the blonde. Was he seriously asking her that question? He was married. He had a wife and he was still making moves on her. This cheating bastard! Had he no shame at all? But his wife's reaction was kind of weird. It looked like she knew about things, and she was just reminding her of her place. Had she not been so shocked at the husband part, she would have said something to that woman. Of course I have a problem, she said. But you and I are not doing anything, said Naruto. And when we were doing something, I was not married. Is that supposed to make me feel better, she asked. No, said Naruto. I was just telling you the situation as it was. Yes, I am married. I never mentioned it because it never came to mind. Temari was angry, you're married, and you would forget your wife. Is that the kind of person you are? Well, I shouldn't be surprised. You are the same person who went to bar to pick up an older woman's, after all. Naruto tilted his head. Now you're just insulting me, he said. Karen is not usually around. I can go for months without seeing her. And how many times have we spoken to Mari? 2 times. It was personal. The first was not civil. The last was a bit civil. But how do I say, hey, I'm married, when we can't even sit down and talk? Not my fault, she said, the shrug of her shoulders. Regardless, that is the situation, said Naruto. When I sensed your presence, I was happy, thinking that you'd come see me because of our last conversation. Sorry to disappoint you, but admittedly, I thought it'd be nice to see you again as well. To be honest, I'd missed that, but I did not expect to walk through there and be greeted by your wife. Don't let it bother you. Don't think too much about it, he said. How can I not? It doesn't change that you're married. You're being difficult, Temari, he said. I am not. But you don't help things. Is there anything I should know? Any children I should know about? You really sound displeased, said Naruto. What gave that away, she asked in an angry tone. I am also married to Princess Koyoke. The marriage was done to unify our nations. I also need your technology. We also help her get our country to a sound financial position. Children? No. I don't have any children, he said with a smile. At least not that I know of, he said. You should check on that, she said. Are you happy now, said Naruto. No, she said. I have mixed feelings about this. I don't know what to think about it. We can just get to business. I will think about this later when I am calm. Naruto nodded. Best it be so, he said. Naoki said you have a message from your brother. Can I have it, said Naruto. She pulled a scroll and handed it to Naruto. As Naruto took it and unfolded it. As he started to read, Emperor Naruto, I want to believe that we're still friends, as you said. But there's many things happening in this world that makes me question your motives. Why this war? What do you hope to achieve by it? I sense something big will come after this war. But I still want to consider us friends after it. You are a leader of people and so am I. We are friends, and I would like the friendship that exists between our two nations. I know what you said to Shikamaru and my sister, but this is a plea to a friend. I can understand your reasons with Konoha, but we have done nothing. As a friend, if you still cannot change your mind, please tell me why. I ask, not as a Kazekage but as a friend. I've also sent my sister because I want you to resolve your issues with her. I love my sister and wish her happiness. If her happiness is with you, I can accept that. But even if you're a friend, I will not forgive you if you're purposely hurting her. I do not believe that you're that cruel, nevertheless. Please, resolve it. Gaara, of the Sun. As Naruto had that amused look on his face, Gaara would probably try to kill him if Temari came back home crying. How nice it is that you have a caring brother, said Naruto. I will write my response to him. Is it going to be any favorable? Temari asks. I will give the response I gave Mizukage, said Naruto, as he handed Temari the scroll. Your brother threatened me if my intentions are to hurt you. Then again, I felt like he wanted to attack me when I made my status known to the Sun that I was alive. He's very protective of his family, Temari said with a smile. How envious, said Naruto. Then again, my family is Uzumaki. I will rip to shreds anyone that threatened their existence. Yet, yours is brotherly love, isn't it? Logic does usually work there. Love can be illogical at sometimes. It makes you do things that is rather unreasonable. She shook her head. She didn't want to talk to him, especially about this now. So she said, are you prepared for the war? As Naruto walked down, as he kissed her on her forehead, let me not indulge that tactic of changing the subject. You will talk to me when you're ready to talk, and I'm willing to answer your personal questions so we can resolve this thing. He took Gaara's message once more and walked towards the decks. Am I being dismissed? She asked. Don't say it like that, said Naruto. Near he called. The man appeared in a flash. Shadokun? Original has gone to the sound. Where's Haku? Naruto asked. He's with Mizukage. They are engaged with Yoshino about something. Naruto looked thoughtful for a moment. What do you want to do? He said, looking at Temari. Can I walk around the village? Alone, she asked. I want to clear my head, and then get some rest afterwards. Go get someone from Yoshino's tower to handle Temari needs. Just walk her out of the compound before you do that. Yes, said Neri. Time skip, later. Temari was now back, as she looked at Naruto. She still couldn't get over the fact that he was married to two women. But she couldn't stay here for too long. She had to resolve her issue with him. That kind of look doesn't suit you, said Naruto, as he was holding a cup of steak in his hand. He usually don't drink these days. Well, this was a special occasion. She shrugged. I think I know what suits me better than you, she said, as she went silent for a moment. I really came here thinking that we could maybe start over. Your marriage revelation stuns me though, and complicated things. The first part made me happy, said Naruto, but nothing's ever complicated. If you are worried about having Karen glaring at you when you're own, you don't have to worry about that. If it's a problem of sharing me with another woman, you don't have to panic. It's a situation that we can all learn to manage. The important part is whether you be happy or not with the decision that you're forced to make. If you cannot be happy with it, although it pained me to say it, you should not be around me, he said. She shook her head. If it's about happiness, I don't think I'll be miserable. But we're just speaking now, and honestly, it will sadden me if I don't give it a try. I don't want to have regrets in my life, so yes, I'm willing to have a relationship with you, despite the situation. What kind of relationship? A canal, for the physical pleasures, or romance, all that love has to offer. Are you trying to make a joke, she said. Because if you are, I don't have a problem walking out right now. Well, you won't be able to leave the compound. All exits are locked. No one get in or out, he said. Well, I can still ignore you, she said. As Naruto smiled. Are you sure about that, dear, he said, as he placed his cup down and walked straight towards her. As he placed both hands on her shoulder, he smelled her here. You smell good, he said. You have that smell of someone that came here, expecting something. She folded her arms. From who, you? You can be such a disappointment, she said. He bit her ear. We both know that is not true. Last time I had you on top of me, you were screaming for more. You have a wild imagination, she said. I remember, I had a rather disappointed look, and I asked you if that is all you could do. You have been learning words, Temari, he says. He picked her up. As she wrapped her legs around him. I truly missed you, Temari, he said. She was quiet for a couple of moments before she wrapped her arms around him. Me too, she said. Okay, said Naruto. Now get off me. I had a long day and I want to rest. As he let go of Temari. You're not funny, she said. I was not trying to be funny. Your brother said I can't touch you unless we're married. There was never a message like that. And I don't remember you having problems the first time. Are you really gonna try to make me beg? Well, not if you excite me, he said. Let me go. As he released her, she stepped forward. She reached down. Is this excitement enough? That is just unattractive, he said. I never remember saying that I was a masochist. Now, please let me go. You don't play like that. Children need to be born in this world. First, tell me you're excited, she said, as she intensified her grip. You cruel woman, said Naruto. I will make you regret that boldness of yours. The following day, Temari was called to the office. As Naruto was silent as he was writing something. Am I being kicked out of the village, he asked. Because if that is so, I'm feeling very used. He looked up. You do need to leave now, Temari. The stone and Kumo is moving towards its village. We must prepare things on our part, and I must head out for some destruction. I won't be in this village for most of the time. I need to finish things here and then must leave. That's why I must also make sure you leave before I do. Where are you going? To war, obviously. But I must make a few stops certain places. As he gave the letter that he was writing to Neri. This is my response to Gara. You're not gonna take me? Said Temari. No. There are things I must deal with, and you cannot be there with me. Neri will speedily take you towards the wind border. You should be safe there, is it not? She knew that she would be fine once they enter the wind border. But she wanted to get on that airship and get on home. But she understood me these times, they couldn't really use it. I can live with that, she said. I will try to get you when I can, but since the war has started, I will be busy running loose. Neri will take you home once you're ready. You will follow me once you're done, said Naruto. As Neri nodded. As Naruto walked forward and kissed her on the forehead. I will try not to die this time around, he said. I'm sure if you die this time around, it will be because someone killed you, she said. Well, he smiled. You can't disregard any possibility. Try not to move around too much once you arrive home. Those people will do anything to win, especially Onki. He was then gone in a blur. She turned her head towards Neri. Where exactly is he going? He handed her the scroll. You should get ready to leave, Temari. I won't hurry you. If you want to leave tomorrow, you can do so. But I will not be the one to take you straight to the sand because I must follow the Majesty. He will not engage the enemy until I reach his side. Timeskip, Wind Country. Kurosaki felt happy. She did not believe things would work this way. They were in the river border. When she was informed by one of her scouts that the Kazekage's sister was coming back. Even if it was the Kazekage himself, they would have tried to catch him. But not in the desert. That was just dangerous and suicidal. And now, his sister was alone. There was no way that Kurosaki was going to fail this mission. This woman had some connection with that bastard emperor, and her brother loved her. She was very, very important. They'd catch up with her rather quickly, if possible. We would like to get this over without a struggle. We don't want to harm you. We just need you to come with us, said Kurosaki. Temari held out her fan. Who would have thought that things would turn out like this? She should have insisted that Naruto take her to the sand. But he said that Naruto was going to battle, and he had to be by his side. And she did not know that this was going to happen. If she thought that Naruto was a cold-hearted bastard, and believed that he knew that this was waiting for her, and let her go along, but he wouldn't do that. The hidden stone, she said. The sand has no war with the stone. Why are you doing this? We cannot talk unless you surrender. If you insist to fight us, you will get hurt. Well, you'll have to hurt me to take me. I will not surrender to you, said Temari. Timeskip, Naruto was sitting on a large boulder, as he watched 2,000 of Kumo shinobis moving. They were moving similar to the stone forces, but they were being cautious. He was not here to watch, though there was a war happening. And in war, there's no mercy. He came here not to battle, but to slaughter. There will be no re-battle. He was just going to release his big weapons. Neri, he said, you're late. As Neri flashed behind him, something occurred on my way back, and I was forced to observe, said Neri. What happened, said Naruto. If it is not important, we can forget it. There's much to be done here. After all, he had 2,000 enemy force to get rid of. Neri pondered for a moment. The hidden stone took Temari. Kurosaki was leading the charge. Although her chakra is sealed, she's still capable with taijutsu. As Naruto's face went blank, well, it was blank already, but now, something seemed to have snapped in his face. But you could not even notice. You had to look really, really closely. This was a dirty move. Gaara would declare war against the stone, but because he had his sister, that will restrict his movements. And Kurosaki, she must have run to take the mission after her recent failure. He thought that she would live a long life. Well, I guess he was wrong. What was he supposed to do about this? He could step right in the hidden stone and just lay siege upon the village. But that was not a part of the plan. Konoha was moving. If something happened, the sand would attack the rear of the stone. Still, Gaara didn't do anything to threaten this move against them. Well, Oniki, move. Anytime you want. You just watch, said Naruto. His tone sounding rather empty as he spoke. Neri considered his options. Before speaking, yes, he said. At this point, I didn't want to risk anything. I would have gotten involved if there was a chance that they would kill her. But it is highly unlikely. They probably won't even do any harm to her. What do they hope to achieve, said Naruto. I do not know, Your Majesty. We will move to secure her. I won't mind leaving the village, if it means getting her back. Neri was getting a bit on edge. Naruto was too calm. He knew that the Majesty liked Temari. Whenever he became too quiet, that was when you should start run away. Neri decided to stay a bit away from the battlefield, because he didn't want to end up dying by misfire. I did take measures to make sure the Kazekage knew about this. He would probably head to Konoha. Naruto got to his feet. We will discuss this, and our course of action when we return to Uzo. For now, we must deal with this. Watch my back. Yes, Your Majesty. And like that, Naruto was gone. Naruto appeared in mid-air. He was standing in a small tornado that was right above the army. Hey, the air just got a bit heavy. Yeah, it feels strange. There's someone up there, someone shouted. Wait, is that? It's the Emperor! The moment that word was said, the tornado surrounded Naruto and started to spin so fast as it was twisting and coming down. Boom! Hundreds of shinobis got ripped apart by the wind that tearing through their flesh. When it cleared, Naruto was in a large crater. A number of shinobis lying around him dead. Come, said Naruto. And they did come. Wind bullet. His 5 fingers got surrounded by 5 wind bullets as he fired them. They slammed into 5 shinobis' chests. There was so much force behind the wind bullets. Bones snap. Lightning release. Thunder serpent. Naruto watched as the lightning sneaking towards him. He jumped. The thing looked up and went after him. He twists and he was gone. He flashed in front of the man that released lightning jutsu as he slapped 2 explosive tags on the man's shoulder before kicking him right in the army. Boom! The explosion went off. Where did he go? Behind you! Snap! As Naruto snapped Shinobi's neck, he then flipped over a spear before cracking his heel into a man's neck, snapping it. He then dropped as his feet breaking the ground as he dodged 3 kunais. He grabbed one of them out of mid-air. As he twisted and threw it, it pierced right through the skull of a shinobi. He twisted and grabbed the wrist as he placed 3 explosive tags right on the man's chest before he flicked him and threw him into the crowd. He tried to peel them off, but it was too late. Boom! Another section was wiped out as he turned into a large mushroom explosion. These elemental explosive tags are quite effective, said Naruto as he watched the flames. 5 shinobis that held electric blades rushed towards him. He switched himself with another shinobi as the man got stabbed with the 5 swords all over his body. A lightning tag then went off as all of them were severely burned as they were thrown away. As Naruto flashed through a single seal as he held his hand forward. Wind style. Decapitating wave. Hundreds of wind blades that shinobis could not see sliced through their body, tearing off their arms, slicing their bodies in half. Lightning style. Thunder flash. A flash of lightning came from the heavens as Naruto twisted away, vanishing before the thing struck the ground. Did you get him? Of course. There is no way that he was able to escape that. Naruto appeared and grabbed the man by his throat. That was your jutsu. Before the man could say anything, 4 shinobis from Naruto behind rushed towards him with their sword pointed forward to stab right through him. Naruto twisted and used the man as a shield as the 4 swords stabbed cleanly through the man. As Naruto created a wind blade and placed it behind him, as he clashed 2 blades against his wind blade. Too crowded, he said. The wind started to gather around him. Shinobis leaped away. Emperor, Cutter, said Naruto. As Naruto wind blade that he could not see extend as he spun. He then stopped. The shinobis were confused until 70 of them, their guts burst wide open as they were severed in half, the wind blade completely slicing through them. A tornado then picked up around him as he created his wind blade. As he started to spin, he cut through everything in his path. Hundreds got slaughtered in seconds. Stay away from the tornado! There's some kind of invisible wind sword. One of the adapt sensors shouted as he saw his fellow shinobi got cut in half without even noticing. As Naruto came to a stop as he put away his wind sword and he bullet lightning one. The shinobis were afraid to get too close to him. As he released a burst of his chakra, it was visible as it washed over a large area as he stabbed lightning sword into the ground. Lightning burst, he said. Nothing happened at first, then static started to form in the air. Everyone, run! But it was too late. Another wave of Naruto chakra released a huge amount of lightning. Everyone around him got caught in an electricity field. They screamed in pain as lightning surged into their body. One by one, they start to fall like flies. It took about 2 minutes for the electricity to disappear. When it did, Naruto put away his blade and pulled out his wind blade. As Naruto dived into the army like a bomb. As he was ruthless, shinobis were getting cut down one after another until thunder started to gather above him as he looked up. He blocked a sword strike and stabbed the shinobi right in his eyes. As he still kept his eyes up, thunder got strike. The lightning strike was a lot more fast than the other one. As it came down and destroyed, it decimated the area. Did we get him? Hey, I can't feel anything. When the dust cleared, Naruto was in a large crater, with Neri in front of him. There was a chakra chain barrier surrounding them. That nearly got me, said Naruto as he stepped all up in the sky. They are preparing another one. As Naruto saw, a platoon of them was gathered, and they were all pumping chakra into the attack. It's a chakra barrier, the seal. Absorb the chakra and transfer it to the ground. But I don't think he can handle repeated attempts, said Neri. Before Naruto could say anything, another lightning strike slammed into it. The barrier held up, but as it sent it into the ground exploded. As Naruto handed Neri his blades. Thank you. Hold your position. I will go wild. As Neri flashed away, 5 tails immediately surrounded Naruto as a cloak came out. Its form disappears as he transformed into a 5-tailed miniature beast. The shinobis ran away as they felt the shockwave going through the entire area. The 5 tails slammed into the ground. Multiple tails that got large exploded from the earth, stopping the shinobis from running anywhere. Chakra started to gather from his body. It then formed into a black ball. As he reached out and swallowed it whole, the ground exploded as his stomach enlarged. He opened his mouth as a blast came from his throat that erased everything in front of him. The miniature tail beast bomb wiped out everything in his path. Pure death and destruction. 7 shinobi jumped in from behind as the 5 tails turned. Its tail stabbed through them like they were nothing. The remaining 2 brought down their blades, but their blades could not pierce the skin. He grabbed them by the face as he smashed their skull into the ground, bursting their head open. The remaining shinobis around him start to move back in fear. Let us retreat. We can't fight that thing. It's just gonna chase after us if we run. As Naruto wouldn't allow them to leave like that. Not after he bothered transforming. Poof! There was an explosion. Steam filled the entire area. As everyone stood still frozen. As they wondered what was going on. As they watched as a tail whipped out and blew away all the smoke. It feels good to breathe some fresh air again. As a giant form of the Kyuubi stood there, his 9 tails flapping around. Inside the mindscape, Naruto had his legs crossed. He was not in a cell, he was in a clear surrounded, empty space. I have only permitted this because it's the only way your form can get out. If you do anything I don't approve, I will repress you, separate you from your chakra, and place you away in a stronger seal. Kurama did not respond to that as he moved. He drive his paw into the ground. Hundreds were slaughtered. Those that flew up in the air, he slapped them away. Necks were broken. Bodies were turned to bloody chunks. He then waved his tails behind him as a lot of wind picked up behind him. As he threw that forward, shinobis were ripped apart, the wind crushing them. The beast jumped in the air despite its size as he started to charge a Biju bomb. Scatter! The shinobis yelled. Kurama smirked as he swallowed the bomb. But unlike Naruto, he spun as he did a 180 twirl with it, tearing apart the running away shinobis. All around him there was just chaos and debris flying up in the air. It did not enjoy the view as Naruto appeared as it was forced back in its cell. As Naruto dropped on his feet, "It will do," he said. As he flashed away, he reappeared beside Neri. "That was quite the battle, Your Majesty." As they were near the trees of the land of hot water. "Not quite," said Naruto, "because the enemy overwhelmed us. We are forced to play this cruel game. I don't enjoy it, but we must crush as many as we can before we face the leaders. With many losses behind, and the loss of leaders, the alternative will be to surrender before they lose so much numbers." As Naruto simply nodded, "Do you have everything?" Neri nodded. "The country is big though. We will also have to cover the Fire Nation. That means we'll probably spend the whole day on this. We will not move quickly enough to help Temari. I did not come this far by making irrational decisions. I care for her. But what we're about to do is an important part for our survival. We cannot deviate from this plan." Meanwhile, at the Hidden Stone, Temari was defiant. She would not say anything that she didn't have to say. She would not betray the San or Uza. Even if they asked about Konoha, there would be nothing that came out of her mouth that would please them at all. They ambushed her and took her by force, when the San did nothing against them. The San has a backing of Konoha. They would have gained 2 enemies. This was just a stupid move. You can still release me now. There shouldn't be any problems, Temara said. It would be a pity if all the great nations were taking a war just because she was caught. Kurosaki grinned. She was pleased that she managed this job. The last one, she failed miserably. You're not going anywhere until my grandfather say otherwise. Do you even understand what you have done? Yes, your brother will be very angry. But his anger doesn't frighten us. We just wanted San to stop their movement across the borders. There is a thought that we might end up fighting Kumo once Uza fall. We don't want any of you to take advantage of the situation. And as I said, we have no intentions to harm you. She didn't care about that. The fact was, they made this reckless move. Have you considered that you just gave Konoha a big reason to enter in the war? If we totally leave, if Konoha get involved, we will kill you. You really think that your brother will allow that to happen? Temara almost spat out at her. It was a dirty move. Her brother would not do anything to risk her life. These people were playing a dangerous game. But what about us, she asks. What about them? They are not a big threat. We will hand them soon enough. If I remember correctly, 2 shinobis alone dealt you a major loss in nothing but a handful of minutes, said Temari. But they're not going to come here the moment they do. We have people watching, and the moment they leave, a platoon is going to go over there and lay waste to the rain. You see, we have thought about this. Well, what about the Emperor? It's not like you're close to Uza. And if I remember correctly, he can cover big distances in the blink of an eye. Kurosaki looked thoughtful. It has been rumored that you have some connection with him. What are you, his lover? No. That cold-hearted bastard is incapable of loving. But if he does come here, I'll just hold a kunai at your throat and tell him to go back home. Temara laughed. And why would a cold-hearted bastard bow to that demand? As Kurosaki frowned for a second there. Well, since you will end up dying, I might as well make you suffer like I suffer in Uza. And then when your brother asks why we blame the Emperor, we might even say that he let you get captured, so that he would get involved. You'd have to be alive to say that, said Temari. And what's that supposed to mean, said Kurosaki? With A. Raikai-sama, a mistress said in a fearful tone. What is it? The man gulped. Our second unit was attacked by the Emperor, and it was annihilated. A grabbed the man by his shirt. What? How certain are you that this is reality? How can he fight 2,000 men by himself? That was a feat of past Kages. Then again, shinobis from the Hidden Leaf has always been ridiculously strong. The man simply nodded fearfully as he dropped the man. Things were getting bothersome the more minutes go on. 9 is as strong as you fear, big brother. But with our combo, he will be stunned by our double lariat, said B. Yeah, A thought to himself, would be. Who could defeat them? Meanwhile, Konoha, Gaara, was not a happy person as he made his way towards the office. If the Tishikage was in front of him now, he would turn the man into a shower of blood. Perhaps those bloody thoughts were coming back that made him a dangerous beast back then. But this man had kidnapped his sister when the San had nothing to do with this war. And this man had took his sister. I'm so glad you could make it so quickly, said Snaddy as he entered the office. I traveled without much rest. I don't know what those people are doing to my sister, he said. I doubt they would do anything to harm her, said Shikaku. I figured that much, said Gaara. He turned towards Snaddy. Why do you suppose they have made this move? The San is not at war with the Hidden Stone, nor has it threatened the Hidden Stone in any way. Sometime I don't know why Onki does what he does, but if you look back, the stone has a history of invade the other nations if they think it will help their village in some way. They also have no qualms destroying others if they see them as a threat, said Snaddy. They're trying to get us to back down, so we do not involve ourselves in this war, said Shikaku. If they do end up warring each other in the end once they take care of Uza, we won't be able to stab them in the back. But they have made a massive miscalculation. As Gaara turned towards them, Naruto relationship is something that they did not account for. If we are correct, he has more reasons to invade the Hidden Stone. Gaara nodded as he agreed with that. She was actually coming back from Uzo when she was ambushed. I had sent her to deal with current issues with the Emperor. If things work out well, we can hear from him. But still, I will not let this slide. Neither will Konoha, said Snelly. We simply cannot allow Onki to do as he pleases. The Fire Lord is also not proud that both Cloud and Rock plan to invade the Fire Nation. On their way to Uzo, he will also help apply pressure. For now, I'm calling the emergency summit here in the Fire Nation before everything turned into war. We will sort out this issue and apply the means we must apply to make him pay. Will he even agree to that? We have to make him agree to it. We will have to use Naruto to make him see reason. What do you think he will do anyway? If he does something, Oniki would have to attend the summit. I will know what he will do when I hear from him. But I am sure that he already knows, said Gaara. Time skip, as Gaara was sitting at Ichiraku Ramen. He had come here because he heard that the Blonde Emperor visited this place a lot. But that was not what was on his mind at the moment. He was worried about his sister, sitting here. Make him feel like he was feeling her, and he did not know the exact location that she was in. But if nothing was done, he was gonna send people there. It didn't matter who they have to kill. He would get his sister. It didn't matter if they want a war after this. He would get his sister. The Hidden Stone has crossed a line that they weren't supposed to cross. He glanced at Jiraiya for a moment, as he looked at the bowl in front of him. How long before Kakashi arrived at the border? 2 or 3 days. They're not moving that quickly. They're looking off the enemy movement. Besides, it would be best to conserve their energy, because they don't know what will be greeting them. You are not going to join, asked Gaara. If something happens, I will be rushing there, said Jiraiya. But I want to be close to Konoha to protect it from any threats. Many things occur when he was not here. Like when Naruto was born, he wasn't here and he lost Minato. And he lost Kushin as well. And he wasn't here when Naruto grew up. And now, look where things were. Gaara sensed the bitterness in Jiraiya's tone, but he did not comment on it. Konoha is fortunate to have many skilled shinobi. In case anything happened, you should be able to hold on. Jiraiya nodded. But in war, you never know how things work out. Overwhelming power does not always win. Strategy does matter. Even if Naruto has overwhelming power, if Kumo and the stone plays this well, they could use their numbers to make Uza suffer. If it is about holding Naruto back until their force attack, that wouldn't matter really. Because he can simply teleport, said Gaara. He can, but his jutsu doesn't work like Minato's. Well, it wasn't really made for battle, it seems. I believe that is what he used to travel between Konoha and Uza without anyone noticing. But in war, he will still need to travel. But we don't know how things will work out. Gaara nodded. No one knew how war was going to play out. Anki just did something that no one expected. Yes, he did. Said Naruto. You know my order. Keep them coming. Nearly jumped when Naruto suddenly spoke up. As Naruto sat beside Jiraiya, she hadn't seen him sit down. It was just his voice. She placed her hand on her heart. Naruto, don't scare me like that, she said. Oh, sorry, she said. I forget that you're now His Majesty. As Naruto smiled, who would have thought the lonely kid that walked around with dark cloud on his head would have become an emperor? Well, I already know that he will be someone great. But you did mention it once or twice. I did, said Naruto. Well, it must have been a rare slip of a tongue. Laughed. You know you never do that. No matter what people did, they could never force you to say what you don't want, no matter under extreme pressures. But now I know why you said those other words. I had make you an offer then, but now let me make you an offer. If you want to expand your business in my empire, as long as you still make those same high quality ramen, he said, a smile. I'll think about that, she said. As she went to prepare his order. I only sense a change of the breeze, Jiraiya said. You can still enter here freely, it seems. I did not do anything wrong to Konoha or leave it as an enemy. I just played dead for a while. Konoha has never been my enemy either. I just don't care for it or want it in my war, said Naruto. Besides, I have not come here willingly. This situation forced me to be here. As he glanced towards Gaara, Kazekage. Emperor, said Gaara as he acknowledged Naruto. Tell me what happened. My sister was in your village before this happened. You didn't know that this was gonna happen. You have not heard, it seems, said Naruto. Heard what? Asked Gaara. Just yesterday, I attacked 2,000 men from the cloud, and I buried them. I released a few of them to go and inform their superiors though. It was just before this battle I was told about what happened, and I could not return home quickly either. I had to prepare the field for a battle before going back home. The land was vast, and I could not just send an army of clones to do it. This activity took a lot of time. I only returned to Uza today. I didn't think you of all people would lay traps, said Jiraiya. You may hide it, but you do enjoy fighting against strong opponents, said Naruto. But this is about the Uzumaki survival, and I will not risk anything. I know the enemy is large, that is why strategy is very important. Didn't you always say the stronger can be defeated by someone weaker? It isn't the number of jutsu but the use and effectiveness that determine one's victory. I have power, but that alone is not enough. Strategy is also very important. At least you learned something from me, said Jiraiya. Don't get ahead of yourself. I learned this from the third Hokage. You know, you could have just given me that one, said Jiraiya. I'm not that kind. He turned to Gaara. I did not know anything about it. If I had known that there was a plan like that, I would have had Neri accompany Temar through the desert. Gaara nodded. Then where do you stand with my sister, he asked. That was the main reason he sent her there after all. Naruto smiled as Aion brought him his order. Said Naruto as he brought the chopsticks. I'm on her side, said Naruto as he started to eat. Jiraiya narrowed his eyes towards Naruto. You couldn't really tell if he was angry. He was just always neutral and calm. As Naruto stopped when he finished his ramen. I am very displeased, he said. And I will get Temari back. But I just want to tell you what I will do. And also hear your options. Jiraiya narrowed his eyes. What are you planning to do, Naruto? I know that Temari has been hell at the Hidden Stone. They have secured her in the village, and put one of their Jinjulkis as a guard. But I'm going to go there and ask for her to be returned. Or you plan to send your airship? No doubt it was created as a weapon. Naruto shook his head. In a case where there's a Jinjulki, I cannot take it unless there is force. It would just become a shooting target. There are other means though. Tomorrow will be retrieved at the end of the day. What are your plans? Kage Summit? Yes, said Gaara. But I also want to seize Shinobi toward the Hidden Stone to retrieve her. Both A and Unki are most likely going to reject the call for the summit at this stage. They're at war and they won't leave their man. For me to attack them. That is fine though, the idea of a summit. I will give Unki reasons to attend it. The safest thing would be to have me attend the summit, of course. I smell something fishy, said Jiraiya. Gaara, ignore that. You promised me that you'll bring back my sister. Of course, said Naruto. As Emperor, my words, especially my promise, mean a lot. If I went around saying things that didn't have any value, what was the point? Then I will hear from you, said Gaara. The place and time for the summit has already been selected. By tomorrow it should reach all Kages. I think A and Unki will object to your presence, since you're not a Kage and they both hate you. I could care less about their petty feelings, as he pulled up one and placed it down. As he picked up his bowl. Next time you see me, I'll be returning your sister. With that he was gone. But guys, be in subscribe right here. If you want the next person to do, like, subscribe, comment down below and turn on that bell notification as they posted. Remember to share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto was the hope of the Uchiha clan on this channel, and enjoyed that guys. And over and making 3 I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto Was Neglected with Josh sealed inside of him. So go ahead and enjoy that guys. And remember, for anyone this is the first time you hear my voice, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Making family. And thank you for all of your help and support. And yeah, I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.